I'm back showcasing more of your weird Football Manager saves because you're just so damn weird. In a good way. We start today's video with this save here from Ollie, which I wanted to showcase because of the idea behind it, more so than the achievements of the save itself. Although, Ollie, to be fair to you, have done some brilliant things in this save with Lille and then RB Leipzig. The funny thing is, though, that this save started in 2038-39, and I think it just makes for a weird save. And I guess that I've seen people talk about this idea in the past, and they like the game where it's all new gens and it's your own little world. But he simmed forward into 2038, then he took the Lille job, and then he's built up from there where he was saving them from relegation, eventually got the Leipzig job, and then he's become really successful with Leipzig, building this team here, which I'm sure you can imagine, not many real players involved in it. In fact, they're all new gens, of course they are. Look at the system he's playing. It's like a 4-2-1-3. I like that system. It looks like I used to play something really, really similar that we called the Overload. So it is really, really effective and slightly, it's just fun because you score a lot of goals with these three strikers. He's called it the Marshalotti. Fair play. He's won the Bundesliga and all this stuff. I wanted to show you the save though, mainly because it started in 2038, which looks really fun. If you go to his manager here, which is curiously the Joker, who's a 34-year-old American Samoan. So he's 34, I guess, because you add a manager when it gets to that stage in 2038. I was, for some reason in my head, expecting him to be like 85 years old at this stage. That wouldn't make any sense at all. But yeah, 2038, look, with Lille into Leipzig. This season was good. 5 trophies in this one. Bundesliga, did you win the Champions League? I guess, yeah, you did. All right, that's just what I wanted to check, to be honest. He does explain the save as this. This is an RB Leipzig save. In 2050, he simmed many years into the future, then found himself at Lille, saving them from relegation, following up with mid-table, then Europe, then joined Leipzig, and then kind of the rest is history from there. He's explaining a few of the players and things, but that's sort of by the by. I wanted to show you because as an idea for a weird save, go and play in your own universe. And to me, kind of, that's what Football Manager is all about. Sometimes I like the realism angle for sure. I like, trying to do realistic things that are happening in the real world. Like you see a really good player at the Euros and you're like, I want to get them into my team. I definitely have a bit of that about me. But also when a save becomes your game world, I've just pressed continue for some reason there. When it becomes your game world, your universe with all of these made up new gen players that only you know, they're characters in your own story. I do love that. And this save definitely leans into that. You've got somebody like Roman Lemaitre, who is gloriously good and is only known in Ollie's world. So thank you, Ollie, for sharing this one. That's the first weird save I wanted to show you today. We've got 4 more saves, which I think are really quite fun that we're going to go through in today's video. So let's move through to the next one. Before we do that, a quick thank you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Like the video too. It really helps. And tell me today, which is your favorite weird save? And as always, if you have weird saves of your own, I'm going to put the link to the Google form so that you can submit yours. We could do another follow-up video on these types of saves because they are quirky. They are fun. So if you wanted to do that, leave them in that Google form or submit them to that Google form, which is in the pinned comment. Subscribe to the channel. Let's go through to save number 2. Save number 2 has been submitted by Noel. Noel, thank you very much for sharing this one. I love this as an idea. It's a bit like a normal journeyman, but with a bit of a twist. And he explains it as such. You'll notice we're at Manchester City at this stage. It's 2034 and Erling Haaland has just scored 54 goals in this previous season. So at this stage, you're thinking that's just normal. But there has been a bit of a twist to make this save weird in itself, and he explains it as such. He says, this is a journeyman save where I play as an Australian coach. I feel like we should go and look at the Australian coach. A female, even better. It is Aria Simmons, who is a 45-year-old born in Adelaide who has been brought in by the City Financial Group to go and manage their teams. Of course, they've got this multi-team system, and they have started, I should say, job history going through all of the City football teams around the world at Sichuan Jinhui, Melbourne City, Yokohama Marinos, Troy and New York City sort of back and forth there, look. And is that because was there 2 managers perhaps in there? Or was that just because of the timings, because of the MLS? It probably was, wasn't it? Because of the MLS seasons here. They also took charge of the MLS All-Stars, which is fun. Then Girona, who have had a great season in real life, of course. And then on to the flagship team of the City Financial Group, Manchester City, where, yeah, you've won a few awards and won a few Champions Leagues and pretty much won everything at this stage. Just going back to the description, it just says, this has been my favourite FM save ever because I had a path ahead of me and goals for each club. I like it. You've got like a set few teams that you can manage, but also you need to pick your path along those to get to the very top and then eventually making it to the top with Manchester City here, winning the Premier League. Let's have a look at this City team. Let's just go to the tactics, shall we? Shall I do a quick pick just so we can kind of get a general idea? There's this City team then. It's got Camavinga playing left back. You might not have played it like this, but playing this weird 4-2-3-1 asymmetric thing, which I quite like. Haaland is still there at what age now? 33, still scoring all of those goals. Few new gens, which I'm sure are just brilliant players. Guardiola in as a libero, which is quite fun too. I like the idea of this. I actually want to do something really similar in FM25, like a multi-club, with multi-club systems and organisations becoming more and more apparent in the world of football. I want to do one where we manage all of them at the same time. That might be a little bit ambitious, but I've got an idea. We need to see what FM25 is going to be like first, but that might well be a save that I try to bring to the channel for FM25. I think it could be really fun trying to, like, you can send players on loan between the two of them. You're trying to make sure that they're all successful, but ultimately, do you want the biggest one to be the most successful? I think there's a really fun dynamic to that. We'll see how possible that is with the new engine, of course, with FM25 coming. But thank you very much to Noel for sending us this save. Real big fan of it. I like how I like the premise behind it. So on to the next one. And next up, we have this save courtesy of KS1MA, Cosma. I don't know how to say your name, but thank you very much for submitting this save here. It's a really, really cool save. It is a save with VFL Yugoslavian Munchen, and this is an edited team. If I go to your description of it, it says you are only signing ex-Yugoslavian players, so Serbs, Croats, Bosnians, Macedonians, Slovenians, and Montenegrins. You started with a club in the 4th German division and edited the whole club, as well as the logo, which obviously I do not have in here. So if you could work out which club this is, I do recognise it actually. It's obviously become VFL Yugoslavian Munchen, so a Munich-based team, but with Yugoslavian players from the past. So all of those Serbs and Croats, etc., as described before. Started in the 4th division, edited the whole club, and you've won the Conference and the Europa League back-to-back, and then he abandoned the save because he got bored. Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. We're into 2036. It's a pretty long save, to be fair. And we have a look at the history here. In fact, let's go to the manager history. We can see some of the things achieved. Here is the rise through the leagues. Look, winning the league in the 3rd division, into the 3rd league and getting promoted via the playoffs. 2nd division, won it in the 2nd season, then in the Bundesliga. No Bundesliga wins yet, but a couple of good competition wins, as mentioned. The Super Cup most recently, Europa League, and then the Conference League before that. If we go to the transfers, this is what makes this one fun. This is a bit more in line with the other saves that we saw in the last video like this, where it's about the nationalities of the players that you sign. If you notice that all of these players, we've got a Croatian at the very top there. We've got a Duricic, which is a Serbian. Milosevic, another Serbian. We've got a German player there, brought in for 12 million. I assume that is no, that is just a German. So, I mean, maybe we really did get bored of the save here. That is definitely going right against your own principles there. But you know what? We're not going to judge. I like the save. I like the idea of the save. So thank you very much for submitting it. Another one where it's not just one nation, but going back to like an old nation and going for the newer nations these days and just signing those players. I think it's a really fun. Maybe German was like an exception on here because there are a few German. I mean, Nelson Viper plays in there, who is very much just German, right? He is half Albanian. So maybe German was the exception to the rule in this. I don't know. Thank you very much for submitting, though. Let's have a look at our 4th save of today's video. And our penultimate save of today's video is this one here, courtesy of Jamie, and we are at Partick Thistle in Scotland. He describes this save as such. He says, all Scottish teams in the 4 default leagues were only allowed or are only allowed to sign Scottish players, although he did leave the current squads as they were. So they could re-sign non-Scottish players if they wanted to keep them at the club. But once they left, they had left. And the only players they could bring in then were Scottish. So he's edited the database and he's made it so that Scotland becomes very much Scotland. And they are going to go very much independent, which maybe is a political thing we don't need to get into right now. But the Scottish Premiership then might well look slightly different. And he says there was a surprising team that won it in season number 4, I think he mentioned. If we go back through, look, we've had an Aberdeen winning the league. We had Celtic winning it there before that. Celtic. Aberdeen winning it, I suppose, is the one that is the interesting one in there. Partick Thistle have finished 3rd here. Actually, how have you done with your Partick Thistle team then, with your Scottish players in there? If we go to job history, we can see it all on here, can't we? So First, won the championship, got promoted, 5th, 7th, 5th, 3rd. So you're on the march now, hoping to go and win this Scottish Premiership with your team of Scottish players. There are 1 or 2 extra ones in here that I did notice. I have got I've unfiltered everything here. So some of these are probably youth players, I imagine. This one Brazilian is quite interesting because he is Brazilian, but he is half Scottish, and he came through the youth intake here at Partick Thistle, so I'm going to excuse you with him. But with a very homegrown Scottish club, you're going to go and try and win the Scottish Premier League. I like it. Thank you very much for sharing, Jamie. Let's move through to quite an interesting one to finish off, and we need to jump over to FM23. And this is our outrageous final save of today's video, submitted by our Dappelschill. And this is how he describes this outrageous save, which I'm sure you're already noticing is in 21-23. He has put the work in, as our good friend, our Dappelschill. He says the goal of this save is to win the top flight in every single country, and there are 227 of them in total. He says he's played this on FM23, as we can see, although it won't import onto FM24 for some reason. It's probably because it's so massive or something like that. Also, sadly, the save has corrupted and it won't load anymore, and if I press continue, it will crash. I really want to send this to the devs in some way and see if they can fix it, because the work that has gone in is just outrageous. He says in total, though, he's still very proud of what he was able to achieve. And if I show you here on the job history, these are the leagues that he has managed to go and win in this 100 or so years that he's been playing this save. You just see the first all the way through. Teams like Black Horns, who play their football in Mauritius. So he's won the Mauritian league there. You go, there's a team called Teachers here who play in the Turks and Caicos Islands. It's just all over, like Singing Fish, who play in Sri Lanka. He has won the league all over the world, and it's really quite sad that he's had to stop at this stage. I just want to go and check, actually. We go to the profile on the job history. How many leagues have been won in the whole career here? It is 99 leagues won, 29 cups. He's managed how many teams? Does it say how many teams on here? 78 different clubs have been managed in his career. 1,073 days was the longest time he spent at any club. It is a game time of 36,739 days, and none of those days were on holiday, which is, I think, the thing that a lot of you would have been asking about at this stage. 0 days holiday, and just go back to this job history and just have a look through all of these teams here. It is an outrageous achievement, and one that I just wanted to showcase. And just well done to our good friend Dappelschill. He did also want to put forward one of his best achievements. He says the success of 2 strikers that he brought with him all the way through to many different clubs, and they are Wallisian, which means they are from the Wallis and Futuna Islands. Imagine having a player that is successful coming from, that is Wallisian. It's one of his best achievements, he does say. There's another one as well called Jean-Sebastian Blanchard. If I see, is he still playing? Because I'd love to see some of his attributes on there. I don't think he is. He's also retired. Look, another Wallisian striker that scored a lot of goals in their career. Played in, you see the leagues that he's played in. Island Star in the Northern Mariana Islands. Outrageous. We could dive into this save for just hours and hours and hours. I'm going to press continue and see if it actually crashes. But thank you so much for watching today's video. Thank you to everybody who has submitted a save, and thank you for allowing me to jump into them and sharing them with you guys. If you want to see more of these, please submit more saves so that we can try and do that. I've managed to continue the game there. Maybe it's just our Dappelschill that's not able to do this. Hopefully, I don't know. Either way, I don't know. Thank you so much for watching, though. Subscribe to the channel, like the video if you have enjoyed this one. Let me know which is your favorite save. I've got a feeling it might be this last one. Thanks for watching, though. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye.